Hey guys, it's Jen. How are you? I hope you had a good long weekend. I know we had a couple sunny days in there, maybe Sunday and Monday, and a little snow too. That was kind of surprising. I hope everybody's doing well, and I miss you guys still. It's really good to see people in Zoom classes now and then, just to be able to see your faces and hear your voices kind of tides me over while we have to be apart. So I'm going to read you a book today. But I also wanted to see if you would help me solve a mystery. So you know our chime, right? It comes in this little chime box. Well, the other day I went to go get it, and it appears that someone or something tried to get into it and sort of ate part of it. Couldn't figure that out at first. And then I realized that maybe somebody was feeling jealous that they hadn't had a turn with it in a while. And I thought about all of the people in my house, and I don't think it was any of them, but there is something else in my house that might have been jealous about not having a turn. Let's go see if we think that something else is looking guilty. You guys can give me your opinion when we get back to school. Travel with me a little bit here. Hello. Excuse me. But did you happen to try to take the chime out of the box or maybe eat a little bit of it? That wouldn't be you, would it, Birdie? What do you think? You're looking a little bit suspicious. Listen, next time you want to turn with something, all you have to do is ask, okay? All right, well, I don't want to accuse you. We'll have to see what the kids think about this. But if you do want to turn with the chime, I'm happy to give one to you. All you have to do is ask. Okay. Looking a little guilty to me. Hard to say. Well, the book I'm going to read to you today is about an owl who is a worrier and what the owl does about that. I don't know about you guys, but I think everybody worries sometimes, and it's normal and natural to worry or have fears or anxiety. And I think right now, during these unique times we're going through, there's some things to be sort of fearful of or worried about, and maybe there's some things that feel good to you right now, like being home with family when you wouldn't normally be home with family. Sometimes worry or fear is a signal to our brain. It's a helpful signal to our brain that we need to look out for something, like maybe we're approaching a cliff and we need to slow down so we don't make a bad decision and go over the cliff. Maybe there's something else in the environment that we need to look out for, and it's our brain's way of signaling that to us. The problem is when we worry so much that we can't get worrying or fearful thoughts out of our brain. It might affect our happiness. It might affect our ability to take part in activities every day or get a good sleep. That's when worry or fear has grown too big, and we might need to ask an adult to help us with it. And the good news is there's lots of different ways to help with anxiety or worry. And if you're one of these people who does have a lot of worries, just know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people who struggle with this, and there's a lot of good new interventions to help. And we'll talk a little bit about that because there's some ideas at the end of the book. But for now, I'll stop talking and get right to the book. It's called, and by the way, I'm going to try to do a better job of showing the pictures this time. I know in some of my other videos, I think it's been hard to see the pictures. And this one's called Spot of Blue. And you might be surprised to see there's an owl there. That might be the reason I bought the book. The author is, let's see if I can pronounce this, Alahe Boss and Stephanie Margulies. A Spot of Blue. And it says, I'll try to get you the picture of Owl while I'm reading. It says, Owl was having a fantastic night. He felt incredible, terrifically awake and alert. The moon was white and bright, as it always was on such beautiful, clear evenings. The cool wind tickled his feathers in that marvelous way he liked. He was perched on his favorite tree, an old, big, hollow birch tree. Owl was waiting for the perfect moment to start having fun. Until... Owl noticed a spot. It looked no bigger than a dot, and yet still managed to turn his stomach in a knot. Owl had a tiny blue worry spot. I'm going to see if I can put this up so you can see the spot. Does everybody see it? It is really tiny, like they said. And again, when we're together in person again, you can pick this book up and look at it yourself. So he had a tiny blue worry spot. He knew he should get back to his plans, but he could not get that spot off of his mind. Nothing seemed as nice now that he was a little blue. Even the moon had lost its shine. Looks like he's turned around looking at the moon. You know, I wonder if he just turned his head and kept his body in the same position. You know how owls can do that. Uh-oh, it looks like the spot is getting a little bigger. It says, he tried to blow it off. The spot was still blue, but now it grew. He started scratching the dot. It spread and became a smudge. He tried to wipe it off, but it simply wouldn't budge. Owl was in doubt. Maybe the wind was just a tad too cool. Perhaps tonight was not such a fantastic night. Ooh, look how big that spot of blue is getting. No matter what he did, it was stuck like tape. It didn't itch or ache, it was just there, an odd blue shape. He wobbled and jiggled, waggled and shook. He hopped, skipped, and stretched out his wings. The shape only grew. Ooh, now it looks like it's going to his wings. And now he was all blue. Owl was very worried. Would he be blue forever? Would others notice and stop liking him? Would he ever have fun again? Owl was having a terrible night until Owl remembered what to do. He took a few deep, slow breaths to calm himself down. He imagined letting go of his worries. In his mind, they were like little blue balloons floating up towards the sky. He felt a little better now. Maybe some of you remember when we've tied our worries to balloons and let them go. During group, we'll have to do that again. He remembered how much he loved the tree he was perched on. It was still his favorite. He felt grateful that the moon was still there. Then something caught Owl's attention. He had been so focused on making a new friend that he forgot he was blue. He forgot all about the spot that grew. The moon was still bright and white. The wind was as perfect as always. It wasn't long before Owl was having fun. So much fun that it took him a long time to notice he was no longer blue. Oh, it looks like somebody new has come into the picture here. Only a small dot remained, a teeny tiny minuscule spot of blue. Owl didn't touch it. He didn't blow on it or scratch it. He didn't even look at it twice, as now he had a clue. He knew the secret to those little spots of blue. I don't know if you guys can hear the fighter jets flying overhead. That's what that noise is, if you hear it. Focus on them and they grow. Let them be, and they will go. There he is hanging out with his friend Frog. Owl went back to having fun and letting the wind tickle his feathers. Owl was having a fantastic night. And then this is the part where it gives us some ideas about how to help with our worries. It says, we all have worries. We all have questions and concerns that don't seem to want to go away. The blue spot that Owl discovers is like a worry that doesn't want to disappear. As Owl figures out, the more he focuses on it, the worse his night becomes. The worry keeps growing, taking all his attention and energy. Sometimes worries can take so much space in our minds and hearts that we no longer see the wonderful things around us. What can you do when you get a spot of blue? Number 1, you guys already know how to do this. It says, take a deep breath. When we are too worried, it is hard to think of what to do. It is important to calm ourselves first by taking a few slow, deep breaths. We can imagine our tummies filling up with air like a balloon, and then emptying out. Second idea, imagine letting go. Using our imagination to picture our worries going away can help too. Owl imagined letting go of his worries as if they were little blue balloons floating up towards the sky. He could also have imagined them as balloons being popped or clouds disappearing. How can you imagine letting go of your worries? I like to imagine my worries as little fish, and I put the thought or the worry on the fish and I watch it swim away. That way I can come up with some really pretty, colorful fish in my mind, and that adds to my feeling of calm. The third idea, invite gratitude. Let's find out what that means. It says, by focusing on what we love, we pull our attention away from our worries. Writing or drawing something that makes you happy can help. Remember all the great things you have and feel grateful for. It says, draw something you are grateful for today. And Owl is saying, I am grateful for my new friend. Number 4, it says, schedule some time for your spots. It says, sometimes our worries feel very important. They stick to our minds and stay there. Just like we get chicken pox, it can feel like we have worry pox. We need to get the worries out by telling someone about them or by placing them somewhere else. Think of it as giving them another home. Make a worry jar, it says. I bet this is something you could do at home with your families pretty easily. If you don't have a jar, you could use a box, I'm sure, or you guys are creative, you could come up with something. The jar is there to help you whenever you need to let the worries out of your mind. Write or draw your worries and put them in the jar. You don't have to carry your worries inside your heart. Schedule 10 minutes a day for worry time, for example, after school or after supper, when you can take the worries out of the jar and think or talk about them with a parent or adult. When worry time is over, put the worries back inside and close the jar. If a worry comes up another time, you can add it to the jar and then try not to think about it or talk about it until the next scheduled worry time. You or an adult can take the worries out of the jar when you feel they are no longer heavy on your heart. That would be nice, huh? To be able to remove some of our worries from the jar. The 5th idea is focus on what you love to do. Focusing means putting something at the center of our thoughts, interests, and actions. When Owl focused on his spot, all he could do was notice how it got bigger. Remember what Owl discovered. Focus on them and they grow. Let them be and they will go. How do we let our worries be? By focusing on what we love to do instead, by getting excited and putting our energy into what makes us happy. And the 6th idea is shake off the worries. Oh, you guys are really good at this. Remember how the frog took Owl's attention away from the spot? Sometimes we need to do or say something to break our concentration away from our worries. Here are some suggestions to pull yourself out of a worry cycle. Have a special phrase that you shout while you jump a couple of times. Sing a song really loud. Run or jump. Pretend that your worries are in your hands and shake them off. Create your own way to shake off worries. When you are finished, do something that makes you happy. And this is the owl saying, worries, worries, go away. I have better things to do today. So a lot of those ideas sounds like things that you guys do during bounce breaks at school. So you guys are already experts at all of this. And then the last page says, Owl is no longer afraid of his worry spot. He hopes it's the same for you. And if you notice, the little worry spot has turned into a heart. Okay, that's all for today. I look forward to seeing you guys soon, either on a Zoom class or hopefully when we get back to school. And meanwhile, I will work on the mystery of the broken chime box. If you have any opinions about whether you think my dog Birdie might be guilty of trying to get into the box and have a turn with the chime, feel free to let me know. Bye guys, have a good day.